Salt peanuts, salt peanuts. Salt peanuts, salt peanuts. Salt peanuts, salt peanuts. Salt peanuts.
Many of the visual representations we have looked at in class view women as objects. In particular, this video by Brian Ferry, the women pictured in there are wearing barely anything and are just there for their sex appeal.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I felt extremely uncomfortable filming that 10-second dance scene, which these girls were probably forced to do. And even this video came out in 1987, which is 30 years ago now, and there's still no change in the objectification of women that we see then to now.
Yeah, I mean, I was significantly more covered up than the girl in the video, and I felt just so ashamed and embarrassed. Yeah. But like, it's a very constant theme we see where women in representations of voodoo are just not equal to men, or they are used as sexual objects or as motivation, but never as really a important figure until more recently. But even then, it's still not quite up to par as to what you'd expect.
Yeah.
I put a spell on you.
Salt peanuts, salt peanuts. The name of this song. Salt peanuts, salt peanuts.
In my opinion, the song itself, I Put a Spell on You, I don't find it's actually that bad. There's many more interpretations of the song, if you will, through the later years, but the way Screaming Jay Hawkins does it is very unsettling towards audiences like us, I feel, because it's just, it's out there, right? It's not something that we're used to seeing, right? And, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be unsettling. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Like, the way he presents it is that voodoo is a crazy, like, fearful, just completely, like, out of the blue, just, like, weird culture and religion or, like, cult. Mm-hmm. So, especially, like, to an audience that doesn't know about voodoo, if this is what they see, they get ideas about voodoo that it is, like, some crazy and, like, almost laughable, but, like, still fearful culture or just practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's feeding off that stereotypical belief that voodoo is all about possession and cursing people and, like, just acting all crazy when really it's not what it's about at all. And even his song's about putting a spell on someone, so decided to represent it with, like, a voodoo kind of scene. Yeah.
It's really bad in the way that, because this is an introduction of sorts to a lot of people, that's how voodoo became, not necessarily like the only reason, but like a key reason why voodoo became this scary, like, fearful act of like black magic or just of like pure evil and spirit. chose to recreate one of the early killing scenes in Live and Let Die, the one in which the Voodoo tribe is sacrificing one of the white agents with a snake. This ritual is very similar to a lot of the Voodoo rituals we've seen in many of the visual media, in which there's a lot of screaming, a lot of like convulsing and just spasming almost, and not a lot of sense is being made at all. When it's important, music and singing are very important parts of a lot of religions and cultures, but this isn't singing, and this isn't like any kind of actual tradition. This is just pure terror almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost similar to the Screaming Jay Hawkins performance, just on a larger scale because there was more people, where like a lot of just hysterical screaming and like almost no control over your body. Another misrepresentation was the human sacrifice. Human sacrifice is not actually a part of Voodoo culture at all, and they sacrificed one of the agents with a snake, and yeah, that was a misrepresentation.
And like John said, human sacrifice was never part of the Voodoo religion. However, other types of sacrifices, for example, like chickens or goats, were part. And it's very outlandish to think that that practice is as bad as sacrificing humans, because it's not. Many religions over the course of thousands of years have been sacrificing animals, and it's just part of the religion.
Yeah, it's just very silly. A lot of what happens is just very silly.
Bitch, I'm back. I'm popular the man.
Was important for empowering women, but also had deeper undertones of Voodoo culture and its importance to African American culture as a whole.
There are many misrepresentations in the visual media that we learned in class. However, Beyonce's Formation music video was not one of them, as it was very respectful towards the Voodoo culture.
Beyonce filled her music video with various scenes and depictions of Voodoo, Creole, and overall syncretic culture, in addition to her empowerment of women. She expresses her heritage explicitly, but she also shows support implicitly. Her demeanor was representative of Mami Wata and Maman Brigitte through the colors she wore, the pepper she ate, and so on. And of important note was the Kalunga line that, in this scene we arguably recreated, represented the divide between life and death. The subtlety of the inclusion of Voodoo culture was what made it so respectful and an actually strong and powerful depiction.